Welcome everyone to the 8th plot. We're back with a What If episode. It's been a while since we've done this. Ben and Scott are here with me, as always.
Hey up.
Hey up.
What up?
What up? So on and so forth. We're back, and as you can tell from the title sequence, I don't know why I tried to be mysterious about this. We're going to do specifically the Superman films from the DC... What is it again?
DCEU.
DCEU. What does the E stand for?
Extended.
DC Extended Universe. So it's actually Detective Comic Extended Universe.
Yes.
That sounds really stupid when I say DC out loud. I mean, it sounds like Sherlock Holmes, Miss Marple, and Hercule Poirot going on like Detective Comic. That's actually a good idea.
We need that film made. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there by saying Detective Comic. Tangent Control. Thank you.
It's back.
It's back. We're going to do...
Other detectives are available. There you go. Suck it.
He just has to keep getting every single...
I feel like your timing was a bit off there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you waited too long.
It's been a while.
The joke was gone.
It's been a while.
Yeah, you missed your cue.
Everyone boo Scott in the chat.
Yes, please do.
Chat, this isn't live.
Honestly. The comments, whatever.
Honestly, man.
That failed, that joke then. The chat joke. Comment on it if you like. Or don't. We don't care.
Comment about how bad we are.
Or how good we are.
Other responses are available.
Damn it, Ben.
Oh, it's been too long since we've done this. Anyway, before I keep getting tangented, I don't know what the expression is. We're going to do Superman, but in the DCU. So we reckon
Zack Snyder.
there's only actually 3 films now that I think about it, because he's not in anything else. So Man of Steel,
I thought there was 2 Man of
Batman vs Superman, and Justice League. So that's what we're focusing on. And as always with these What If episodes, it's what we would do if we were
Did
thrown...
you just run out of breath?
Yes. It was a long sentence, and I ran out of breath. That's it. There's no more to it.
Because you've got small little lungs.
Small little...
Scott, we've talked about this, honestly. You can't go around saying stuff like that.
What? Small little lungs?
It's kind of insulting. Yeah. Anyway.
Come at me in the comments.
Before it's Man of Steel. And it's those 3 things. We're not
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League, or
yeah, so we're not
Zack
including
Snyder's
Aquaman,
Justice
we're not
League?
including Wonder Woman, and did they do anything else before this?
He's briefly in Shazam.
He's briefly in
his
Shazam.
body, except his head isn't.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that.
And he's in Black Adam.
He's in Black Adam.
And he's in
that's after,
Peacemaker.
But that's after Justice League, isn't it? Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, we're only going up to Justice.
By the way, we're doing the Zack Snyder Justice League.
Okay.
We're going to ignore the Joss
with
Whedon...
all the slow motion.
And yes, but that's the best version of Justice League by far.
See,
It's the best one that's been made. I mean, like, there's a case that.
Oh, well, sorry. Backtrack a little bit there. I'm definitely not saying it's the best version of Justice League ever done to film.
There's a good 2 hours of just slow motion in there.
Yes, but the Joss Whedon one is terrible. We all agree on that?
Sure.
he really went downhill after Avengers.
And it's what we would do if we were thrown into that universe as close to the beginning as when it starts as possible. And how could we use our knowledge to make this better world for everyone? Because there's a lot of collateral damage in Man of Steel. There's slightly less in Batman and Superman, which they go to great lengths to point out.
Projectile 1, impact, Stryker's Island, east of Metropolis.
That's uninhabited.
And then in Justice League, there's some collateral damage, but could we solve things quicker with all the knowledge we possess of this universe? Again, you have to ignore Wonder Woman and Batman and Aquaman. Sorry. Okay, so it's
Aquaman
just those
sucks.
3.
Oh,
that's wrong.
The character,
it's a great
itself.
film.
In the words of Rajeth Kuthapalli.
Oh, for the Big Bang, yeah. Well, who cares about what he thinks?
Yeah, who cares about what any of them think?
The film Aquaman,
They're fictional characters.
Yes,
Talking about fictional characters.
Don't ruin
It
this
doesn't-
way, Ben.
Also, being Aquaman isn't so bad. You get to rule over the 2/3 of the world's surface, essentially.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Plus, Jason Momoa is cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
He's got
played
good
that well
muscles.
part really well. Hey, we're not talking about Aquaman. We'll get to Aquaman in the
Why would you
future.
let this happen, Mark?
You're the one who started it.
Yes, but you're the leader here, so...
True. Rein it in, fellas. Or you're fired. Even though
I call for a vote of no confidence.
No, we're not doing that again.
The jokes aren't funny, Ben.
I made you
We
say
did that in Spider-Man.
So, yeah, this is about what you would do if you were in that particular universe. As always, we're going to be represented by 3 characters on on this speech bubble. So I, as I guess the overall overseer of this,
Alfred.
no, not Alfred,
Damn.
because Alfred's would be the Batman universe. It would be in the Superman universe. So I'm represented by Jor-El.
We're not including Martian
Jor-El.
Manhunter as the
No,
overseer.
he's not. He's barely in it.
Yeah, he's in all three actually.
He's in all three, but he's barely in all three.
He's in all three though, and
He
he's
doesn't
watching
do
over.
anything. He
He's
does
in all three.
absolutely nothing.
Also-
Even though he could do
Yeah.
quite a lot of something.
Exactly. He's in the first Superman. He's in Man of Steel, and he's like
I
just
understand why-
watching this fight, and he's like, "Huh, I could probably intervene, but
'Cause
I'm
I'm
not
just-
going to."
Because the Martian Manhunter is just as powerful as Superman.
Yeah, he's sick.
And then in the second film, he could possibly have mind-read Lex Luthor at some point and figured out what he was up to.
Uh-huh.
And in
also,
Justice League...
I love the fact that in Batman vs Superman, the best thing he thought to do when Superman was taking Doomsday out into space
Yes.
was, let's nuke them.
Well, that
I'm not
wasn't
going to
him.
fly up in hell.
Well, that wasn't his plan. That was the other guy's plan.
No, but he did it.
Did he?
He was the one who did it. Yeah,
I could have sworn he just, objected and
he
someone
did
else pushed
object,
the
but
button.
he ended up doing it. I think.
I have to double-check that. But either way, no, it's Jor-El in Superman. He's the overseer. He's the person who looks...
Duracell.
Not Duracell, Jor-El. I said that.
George L.
Anyway, if for any good things that we said...
Oh, the battery companies are available.
sponsor us, Duracell. Anyway,
Yeah, do.
Superman is obviously the good guy, so that's why he's appearing next to this
Is
part of the
he?
speech bubble. Yeah, I think he is.
He
Definitely.
causes so much damage.
Does
No,
he?
but
He
Superman
saves
is
no
the-
one.
Superman is the superhero of superheroes.
He almost
isn't
killed that little
He-
girl who was in front of the building. But Batman comes
He
along
didn't do
and-
any of it.
He did.
He was just thrown through the building by
He
himself.
flew into the building. If he wasn't there, the building would have fallen down.
Let's discuss this. Let's discuss this later.
There's lots of grey area with this Superman where he could have done a lot more.
And the film is very grey in some places on purpose. And let's.
It's very dusty.
The weather's not good. It's very overcast.
It's the filter Zack Snyder uses. So, and then obviously to represent any sort of bad ideas we have the obvious bad guy.
Mark Zuckerberg.
No. Well, he's a bad guy, but no. We're going with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
As
Oh,
Mark
look what you
Zuckerberg.
made me do. That's a completely wrong picture. But we'll go with it because I'm not changing it. I can't be bothered. I'm going to have to look up a lot of different pictures for what we talk about here. So that's who, Ben, you're going to be the Lex Luthor. I'm the Jor-El, and Ben can be Superman in this instance. Or
Cool.
Henry Cavill.
Why has been both of them?
Because I'm just so cool.
I want to be Superman.
No,
You want to be Superman? You
You're
can-
too
I can-
thin to be
fine,
Superman.
I can be Batman.
Batman's not in this. We're not doing the Batman universe. For goodness sake, Scott, get it
Batman-
into your head.
Technically, Batman is in this, but it's not a Batman thing. We've done the Batman stuff for
What with Christian Bale?
We haven't done the Batman. We've done Batman.
No, there's so many Batman films. Can't you just make something else, Hollywood?
Oh yeah, and Michael Keaton coming back as well.
Oh yeah, the Flash trailer.
And
We're
Ben
not
Affleck
talking about that.
looking
here.
incredibly
We'll get-
skinny.
We'll get to that later.
We can talk about the Flash. The Flash is, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can't talk about
For
the
the
Flash
briefest of
film.
seconds.
By the way, when
Well,
this is being broadcast and we're recording this, the Flash trailer recently came out. So
Spoiler alert.
spoiler. It's not really a spoiler.
To
is
nothing.
it? Oh well, whatever. So, gentlemen, what do we think of this trilogy of films? I think it's fair to call it a trilogy. Zack Snyder had this in mind.
Didn't he originally want Justice League to be 2 parts at least?
I thought he wanted it to be the fourth film, and there's going to be a Man of Steel film, a second one in between Batman versus Superman or something. He wanted more Man of Steel films before he got to Justice League, but they said no, and they forced him to do this, which was unfortunate.
Well, the DC universe is just all over the place.
It is weirdly all over the place. There didn't seem to be any creative direction, unlike
No,
the Marvel. See, Marvel Cinematic Universe sounds fine. Detective Comic Universe doesn't sound quite good.
No.
See,
Also,
no,
Extended Universe. So, what are they extending from?
The animated universe and the comics, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
what James Gunn needs to do, he just needs to separate himself off from all and go, I'm just going to start with a clean slate here. Start again.
See, the thing is about a clean slate. It's not like Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa did a great job
Yeah.
with their
I'm not saying they
respective
didn't.
characters. I mean, was it called 1984? Was that
it was trash.
yeah, it's not great, but she's still.
But she did.
She's still
she
really
was still,
good as Wonder Woman.
She is Wonder Woman in my head.
And Ezra Miller's gone so
That's
far off the
a
rails.
grey area
I
as
mean,
well.
He might have actually been replaced with an alternative Flash, maybe, because he went very,
Yeah.
very crazy recently.
Except apparently this new Flash film is supposed to be really good.
Well, there's no reason why it wouldn't be good because he
No.
can act, but it's what he's like outside.
Yeah.
But that's another question. But my point is that what was my point? What
I
were we
don't
talking
know.
about? We were talking about
Talk about what we thought of the universe.
yes. And
It's
how,
okay.
but this is and you said James Gunn might redo everything, but I don't know if that's all necessary, since all the other stuff they've made has its fine points.
They've
I would
tried
look-
to go
Shazam. That's the other one. Shazam is good.
Yeah, and they've tried to build off Shazam. I like
Ben
Shazam.
does not think so.
I personally despise like any kind of film with like a kid lead where they're like, oh, all these parents are oppressing me and stuff like that. And
That's
it's
not what
like,
happened in Shazam.
no, and he's like he's a self-entitled brat, and I hate him.
I kind of had.
Zachary
I kind of-
Levi, I love you, but the
I
kid.
know the kid was justified. He wanted to find his mum, who he thought
Yeah,
he'd
but
lost.
like it's just such a stupid story.
Yeah,
and
but that's the point. He's got to grow. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about Man of Steel. Let's focus on Man of
They've
Steel.
tried the
Is Man of Steel good?
Yes.
Sure.
I like it. I know it's not.
I haven't seen it in a little while, but I enjoyed it when I first watched it.
It's not quite a Superman film because he's very depressed and sad, and he doesn't really help anyone.
And he's got no trunks.
Yeah, that too. But it's like
He's not an elephant.
it's not like
No.
it's not like Christopher Reeve's Superman, which is full of hope, which is what the character's supposed to be like. But I quite enjoy it. I feel fine with the
I
plot.
liked it because I didn't
It's
have to
got-
look at a grown man in latex.
How do you know it wasn't latex?
I don't know, but the first three or whatever.
I just
They
think,
were all wearing cloth,
like I like how
actual
I feel
clothes.
uncomfortable.
I like how getting off this topic. I
Oh,
like how
you know that Christopher Reeve worked out with the guy who played Darth Vader. They were gym
gross.
buddies. Yeah.
James
Really?
Earl Jones.
That's good. That's a nice little historical film fact for you, everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's not old.
I'm trying to think. Something Proust is his name.
David.
David Proust, yes.
But yeah.
So that was a tangent. Anyway,
Well, these 12 and minutes 10 seconds have just been full of tangents.
yeah.
You're
We're
supposed to
doing
be
fine.
tangent controlling, Scott, but you're off the ball.
I need a button. Give me a button.
It's not in the budget. So,
That sounds like you're swearing.
like, either way, the general look of Man of Steel
Oh,
was
Man of
good.
Steel. Not
Because
Shazam.
the way I like the fight scene at the end, it's a bit weird to have Superman snap the neck of his enemy, which doesn't really happen a lot in many of the previous films and incantations.
Also, can I just clarify something?
Yes.
At the end, when he's like lasering
Yeah.
and is getting closer and closer to the family, the way that he snaps his neck
Yeah.
the laser would still hit.
Yeah, I would have
He
been.
snapped him in the opposite way.
I
so
think he makes him look up first and then snaps it. So then the snap neck. This is a strange thing to talk about, but I think
so when you snap someone's neck,
if
you need to go like
you're
that.
holding someone who's about to laser an innocent family, make sure you raise the head before you stab.
Also,
Or
the
turn
family
around.
were next to a staircase. They could have run away, and yet they
No,
were
they were
cowering.
boxed in. They were boxed in. They couldn't go anywhere.
They were next to some stairs.
Yeah, but the staircase was like solid, so they couldn't go underneath it. And they were like, it's like a court. They were hemmed into the corner.
Yeah.
And one of the things I thought about, it's a strange thing to do, but they did show that Zod, I wondered, why doesn't Zod just move his eyes a little bit to the left? It's not just his head keeping that laser beam.
Yeah.
So if he had just moved his eyes slightly to the left, the laser beam would have cut through them.
Is that
But
how
they do
the-
show him, like, off to the side. His head is being pulled to the side. His eyes are as, like, to the edges of the...
You got to be
But
careful,
then he
otherwise
hits
it-
his nose,
That's what I was going
and
to
he's
say.
just like, my
Oh, that's a good
nose.
point. Because you can always see your nose. So
What happens if you go
surely
cross-eyed?
Superman is lasering his nose every
Like,
time he uses
he's got incredible like burns
Yes,
on his
he's
nose.
got a little burn right there at the bridge of the nose.
That's why
Or-
so much sun
is it-
cream just...
Is it actually like? Is
I
it,
think
do laser eyes actually come out of like the pupils, or do they come out of like the sockets?
In Man of Steel, and we have to go through this, they come out the whole eye. It's the whole
The
eye.
whole eye.
Yes, because every time they lose it, they have to like blink and go, oh, I can't see anymore. Superman does that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh, then it doesn't
When
matter.
he uselessly lasers that metal beam that Zod's going to hit him with, melts it down, and he sort of blinks. I'll show this on here, maybe.
If we can get the lights
and then Zod hits him in the face anyway, which just makes that. That's one. Okay, there are little plot hole things like that throughout the whole
No,
thing.
if
like,
he's coming out, it was like his eye sockets and eye whites, and it doesn't matter where you look.
Yeah.
Where your pupils are looking, it's just forward.
no, it's where.
Also,
no, it
can
goes
you
with the
see
eye.
when you're lasering? So are they just like lasering blind?
Well, I've never seen from
pure red.
Superman's perspective in film
No.
Why not?
because they never showed it. Scott.
But then
I
also,
know.
how does Cyclops see?
Well, Cyclops
'Cause
can see. He just sees in red all the time.
Okay.
Like a bull.
But Cyclops has just got the. Well, it's not even laser vision. It's a pure.
This isn't Superman. We're talking about
No,
Cyclops.
you're right. We're talking about another guy with laser beams.
Well, so in this Superman episode, we talked about nothing but Shazam, Batman, Cyclops, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman.
Is that what we really wanted to do deep down?
We're changing it.
Man of Steel. Plot holes, not quite Superman, but I felt very entertaining. And I was visually impressed.
I love
Yeah,
the
the
bit
CGI
when
was good.
in the last fight where Zod grabs him by the cape and like flings him around,
Yeah.
and I can just hear like Edna Mode saying "Knock capes."
I'm going to put that on here now. Knock it! I like that Zod was the main villain and not Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I know that traditionally it is Lex Luthor, but I liked it's. I think it's a better thing to get them fight, like a big fight scene between these two superpowered individuals. And I liked Mike Shannon's Zod.
Yeah.
It took you away from the other Zod by Terrence Stamp, the brilliant, epic one.
Kneel before Zod!
So, like, I liked Zod.
Zod.
Mike Shannon's Zod was really good. They Kryptonianized him, humanized him. I don't know what him a little bit. Like I felt like I understood where he was coming from when he had that little speech where I was made to protect.
So
Krypton.
everything I do, no matter how
Violent
horrible
or
or cruel, is for the greater good of my people.
And then you have taken that from me, and I kind of got it. And
Yeah.
it made it rather than the Zod from Terrence Stamp's time, who was like kneel before Zod, which is good and great. I love it, but it's rather than it's just pure power thing. He has a reason behind the things he does. It was good. I liked it. So let's move on to Batman versus Superman. Good. Like
No.
this is the thing. Good
Pointless.
Batman.
Nah.
You don't like it at all.
No,
No,
it should have been
kills-
Christian Bale.
The thing is, I think Christian Bale's Batman would be unsuited.
Oh yeah,
Ben
I mean like
Affleck's is slightly more fantasy Batman,
yeah,
and like
which I appreciate. However, why does he kill? Why does he use guns?
yeah, it's not
What's the
quite
pro-
Batman
problem?
either. Like the best Batman is Kevin Conroy's DC animated Batman, who shows compassion sometimes and is brutal sometimes. But this one was Ben Affleck's one was kind of missing it, but it was closer to it. He behaved like the fighting scenes are quite good when he's not firing 50,000 bullets with a gun.
But he does still kill like
Yeah,
all
it's
of
not
them. I mean like he throws a crate over his head and smashes a guy into a wall.
But
He
if you watch
drops a grenade onto somebody
in Batman's
and
defense,
he gets stabbed in the shoulder, then he throws the guy off and
Then
pins him
stabs
to a
him.
wall, and takes it out, slowly walks up like a
Well,
kind of devil or something,
which is
and then just
which is what
stabs
Batman
him in
is
the
about.
neck.
Batman is about fear, but if you watch different versions of it, like the crate scene, for example,
Yeah.
in one version the guy hits the wall and there's a blood splatter from the back.
Yeah,
of
I've
his
seen
head.
that, yeah.
But then there's another version where the crate just hits him and he hits the wall and he falls down, and it's like you can imagine some sort of clown noise playing at that instant. But that's it's like, woo, like that kind of thing, and it's kind of like. So Batman didn't kill that guy. He just hit the wall and gently got knocked out.
Go to sleep.
And I think even the stabbing scene where he walks up and stabs the guy who stabbed him.
He stabs him in the
Yeah,
shoulder.
but I don't think in the other sanitized version he just punches him in the chest and the guy goes "Ooh," and then falls down and that's it. But he does kick that guy into the explosion,
Yeah.
and he does. His plane, which is really oddly shaped, I thought, does machine gun like a whole group of people.
Do you know what we're doing?
Yeah.
We're talking about Batman.
It's true. But in all honesty, Superman wasn't great in that. He said one word. He didn't say anything to Diane, actually, to Wonder Woman.
No.
Because she said...
The only thing he says in the entire fight scene is, "She with you."
Yeah, exactly. And Batman, for some reason, said, "I thought she was with you." Even though you knew she wasn't.
And like, you were fully aware, like, oh, I just sent her an email. I know full well that I'm the reason that she's here. And I'm going to be like, I thought she was with you.
It's a funny joke, but it's like... But there are some... The Doomsday scene was quite good. Like, quite climactic battling. I quite enjoyed that.
I feel like Doomsday is a Justice League villain rather than just those three.
Wait, what's the Justice League?
It was not the Justice League. Aquaman showed...
Dawn of Justice! It's in the title. That's a strange title.
It's just like... Doomsday is supposed to be this, like, crippling monster that kills Superman and is like...
Yeah, that's...
Boom!
They have always mishandled Doomsday in Superman. They always just like think he's this star villain at the end, but there's more to his battle with Superman always has to actually be more epic than they've ever shown it.
Yeah. Have you seen the
you're about to do the animated thing.
That's
good.
Is so good.
That's better. That's the best incarnation of Doomsday and Superman fight they've ever.
Because like he absolutely wrecks the Justice League, and then Superman shows up, and he's like, and he bleeds for the first time. And it's like, what the?
And it's more like the comic book that's based on than anything else.
The death of Superman.
I like the world building they did in that. Not
in Batman Superman.
Yeah, not a lot of it. Just the world building of Batman seeing this.
Well, it turns out Neil deGrasse Tyson exists in that world.
He exists in a lot of.
Oh yeah, when does he?
He exists in every universe.
When does he?
Which I think he supports multi-universe physics, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why they used him and no.
When does he show up in?
So there's a scene in Batman versus
Oh yes,
Superman.
he's on the news, isn't he?
Yeah, for some reason he's commenting on the existence of aliens when I'm pretty sure there's other scientists who would be better in that role. Maybe. Yeah. But there we go.
Yeah, the world building they did just at the first 10 minutes or so, just Batman trying to save all these people without Superman.
I mean, it's not Batman. It's
the thing
Bruce
is,
Wayne.
it's always done that. That is Superman when he saves people, like using his. That's really Superman isn't about really fighting. It's actually about him using his power to save.
Yeah.
And it's like it's only 5 minutes, and it's actually really sad and depressing to watch him save all these people. Like, well done, you saved that girl. Well done, you saved that. How did you know that space probe was going to explode, and how did you get there quick enough to... Never mind, that's nitpicking. But it's like... I'm supposed... Excuse me.
Pardon you.
Anyway,
God, you are disgusting, man.
He's trying to... Moving on. He's trying to, like... They're trying to show him as being someone who does all this saving. But it's like, he's very sad when he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's not smiling. There's no, like... children running up to him and high-fiving him or something, or he comes into the crowd holding that kid from the fire that he rescued,
and they're all
sorry, that was all wrong. He rescued that kid from the fire, and he comes to the crowd, and they're all placing their hands on him
like in Avatar,
like in Avatar,
in the Avatar where they're like
the one with blue people.
Yeah, they all like do that.
I wasn't thinking that. It was like they're kind of saying he's like God, like he's like godly and something, which I know they've done with Superman in the past. But the thing is, it doesn't feel right.
Also, why are they all wearing skulls for some reason?
I think it was the day. What's the thing in Mexico City?
Day of the Dead.
I think it's beginning of a Bond film.
Day of the
It's
Dead.
not Halloween. Scott.
Day of the Dead.
Have some cultural sensitivity, please.
Day of the Dead.
And yes, I just said it.
No, you didn't.
Okay, Ben said. Okay, I'm gonna mic it and you say it. So. You missed your cue, Ben. Plus, it doesn't work when you can't see our faces.
We don't have a camera. So when I'm doing this with all my hands, they don't see what I'm doing.
No one sees what you're doing.
Stop being Mario.
So we don't think that Batman vs Superman.
Not seeing when I'm doing this.
It's entertaining, but not great.
No,
it's a pointless film.
There's some clever moments in it.
The first time I watched it, when I was young and naive, I enjoyed it, and then I watched it again.
2 years
and
ago.
it was so it was boring.
You think you're old and not naive?
Yes.
Very well. Okay, they're getting on to...
We're talking about yesterday, folks.
They're getting on to Justice League itself then, okay? So we're going to do the one that Zack Snyder did, because that's what he wanted.
That's what 4.5 hours on.
And, when he tragically had to leave production because of what happened with his daughter, and Joss Whedon took over, and Joss Whedon made something really bad, reshot some stuff. I think he needed to reshoot so much because then he'd get his name on it in a certain way, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not great, Joss Whedon, so we're gonna lose that.
Doesn't exist.
But what did we think of the 4-hour remake of Justice League? Well, not remake, the what's it called? The Snyder Cut.
The first, it felt a bit like Avengers.
Really?
Well,
I didn't think it was anything like
the way
it.
that they're gathering all the superheroes up and stuff is that, look at all.
But in the Avengers, they gather because of personality clashes almost, and a Nick Fury guy. And I know you could say that Batman is the Nick Fury guy. It still felt
like an initiative here. Like, oh, look at these people, they're all superhuman, let's gather them up.
But I don't know, I just didn't get that from...
Just felt like that. It just felt like, personally, it just felt like that to me. It was a good film, though.
I actually thought it was the best of the three. And it nice and neatly sews together. It's... there's things that are a bit weird about like the 3 hours of slow motion, and how we don't get any dark side payoff, and every time Wonder Woman's on screen, there's like a whole choir. Like that kind of thing happening. That's a poor cinematic choice, I guess. But otherwise,
I guess it introduced the time travel stuff, didn't it?
that for the Flash parody,
Yeah.
for the new Flash film, which we will not talk about. But
Well, we've talked about so much that we might as well just go with it.
But I like Justice League. I don't like that it's square. I would have preferred it in widescreen, but they're again nitpicking there.
God, you really are nitpicking.
But I
don't
like
the shape.
Cyborg. Really, I like the shape. Cyborg really good. I thought they made he was very good. I wish that Martian Manhunter would have been in it.
I want Green Lantern in it as well.
And weirdly, I wish
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that Superman wasn't in it, even though we're talking about Superman. I kind of feel that him showing up at the end there and being this overwhelming force against Steppenwolf took away a lot of like gravitas or tension from that moment.
I think also the fact that Superman didn't really stay dead for very long meant, because he was like dead and then back immediately in the next film, and it didn't really give much weight to his death.
There should have been. This is why Justice League should have happened without him, and then he comes back later with like the death of Superman storyline.
Or do like
Superman,
or do like Justice League Part 1 and 2, and then have him come back in Part 2. If like you have Justice League Part 1 as a rounded story.
But the Detective Comics still sounds. The DC Extended Universe Committee or whatever had already moved on from the whole thing.
Get better, DC.
Yeah, and you can. You've got so much good stuff.
You got it, James Gunn. Woohoo! We believe in you.
Well, we'll see what he does with Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, because I didn't like what appeared in Thor: Love and Thunder, but that's another question for another time.
That's Marvel.
That's also not James Gunn.
You might as well just not talk about Superman
It was
anymore.
Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't it? Yes, he had nothing to do with it.
No.
He's been fired from
sorry.
Marvel.
I mean, like, the only...
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Waititi.
He's been fired from Marvel because of all the stuff they got from Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, this guy's rubbish now.
Also...
He's not rubbish, it just doesn't match what 4 is about.
It's also...
Let's not do 4.
It also didn't, like... If you give him, like, somebody to watch over him, like a childminder, then it'll be great.
Taika Waititi needs a childminder when he's doing his film. That is
Otherwise, you get
a
Thor:
big
Love and
rebuke.
Thunder.
It's just like... So, like, he's making his film, and you just need someone to go, okay, that's a bit too far. Let's wind it back a bit.
That would work in a lot of the films that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's how it would work if us who directed a film.
So let's.
One of us would go off the rails and no, that's too far.
Before we move on, let's just quickly rate. So, Man of Steel, give me a rating out of 10.
6.5.
6.5.
Solid 6.
I could give it a 7.5 myself.
There you go.
Okay.
But that's how pure enjoyment, but not great film. What about Batman vs Superman?
4.
3.
I'll give it a 5 on my own. Justice League?
7.
5.
8.
6.5.
Just to be contrarian. Okay. Well, there we go. That's what we think.
Average.
It's not great. It's not a great review, but it is what we think. And now it's time to get on to why we're here, gentlemen, which is to imagine what we would do.
It's been half an hour. Are we already getting
I
there?
know, but it's going to be a slightly longer episode.
Apologies.
But what would we do if we were thrown into the... let's say the earliest point in Superman is not when Krypton is... So I can't put you on
I
Krypton.
would scream because you're throwing me.
And okay, I place you... And the first scene is what? Superman on the boat?
No, it's Jor-El.
No, we can't do Krypton.
Why not? That's the first scene.
Yeah, but it's like a prologue.
It isn't.
In the rules,
it's a prologue.
in the rules, in Iron Man.
But in
the
the
first
rules,
20 minutes of it.
It doesn't matter how long the prologue is. It's still the prologue. Okay,
it's not
fine.
a prologue.
You're on Krypton. Okay, you're a human being. Because we've been over the rules. I don't make you be super. You're a human being on Krypton.
But
and
I'm
you're
not
going to save
super.
Krypton? No, you can't. You're going to be there on the planet watching everything happen, and then be there when it blows up. So that's pointless, gentlemen. We're moving on.
Can I not be a Kryptonian who gets sent in?
Okay, you're
Or
a
be a
Kryptonian
Kryptonian.
on Krypton right at the moment that like somewhere Kal-El is being born, because that's the beginning scene of
Right.
Man of Steel. But you're a Kryptonian on Krypton.
I'm
What are you going to do?
I'm going to jump on a ship and fly to Earth.
But there is no ship that
I'm
can
going
get
to
you there.
steal the baby's pod.
Because
There's
in Man
no
of
way
Steel-
that there's not a pod.
No, there isn't.
Another pod.
Because
Going to
they
fly
have
to
to.
Earth.
The Zod, when he gets out of the Phantom Zone ship, they have to use the Phantom Zone drive to make their faster than light drive. So there is no ship on Krypton that can take you away from Krypton because they don't have faster than light travel.
Then I fly to Earth holding my breath.
but you can't fly to Earth.
Why not?
Because Krypton had a red sun, and you need a yellow sun for Kryptonian DNA to get superpowers.
Then I invent a yellow
Wait,
sun.
so
gentlemen, can we agree
can-
that starting on Krypton is a terrible idea?
Wait, so can Superman only survive in space with a yellow sun?
Well, he can only have his powers under a yellow sun.
Then I bring an umbrella.
So there's a...
So he needs to like chart out where
Also,
all the
he
yellow
can't-
suns are.
He can't breathe in space.
No, but he can hold his breath.
Yes, he can hold it an incredibly long time.
You know, Viltrumites can hold their breath for like 2 weeks.
Yes, well... Yeah, Viltrumites are like the Mickey take of... Or not Mickey take, they're a slightly different version of Kryptonian. We'll get to them
Speaking
another
of things
time.
holding their breath, you know frogs can hold their, like, they can freeze and they come back to life in the winter.
That was pointless.
That's so cool. You know when like
Okay,
in
anyway.
films and like there's a bit where the characters are in the water and you hold your breath with them to see how long you can.
No, I don't do that. I just enjoy the film.
Are you? Yeah, I do that. You're weird.
I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one for not holding my breath with characters. Have you watched in Mission Impossible the last one? No, the
It's
second
Tom
to last
Cruise, it
one.
doesn't count.
Anyway, yes, Superman can only operate under a red sun. There's actually in the comic books.
He's crying.
There's an offshoot of the Kryptonian race called Daxamites who live on a planet with a red sun, and it gets turned into a yellow sun, and they all become superpowered.
Then I turn it into a yellow sun.
How does it get turned into a yellow sun?
One of the Daxamites called he's a Green Lantern. I've forgotten his name, but he dives into the sun and uses his Green Lantern powers to convert it
In
into a yellow
darkest
sun.
day,
It's
in
really
brightest night.
it's kind
No
of
evil
silly.
shall escape
It
my
does.
sight.
It's kind of silly. It doesn't work, but it's fine. Anyway, it's fine. But yes, he needs a yellow sun. So if you're on Krypton, it's a red sun. You don't have any Kryptonian powers. You're normal. You kind of have the powers of a normal human being.
I phone Green Lantern.
So, guys, let's get off Krypton. We're now in the first scene of Superman, Kal-El on the boat. I think that's the first scene.
Why are we bringing Batman to this?
What are you going to do to make this universe better? Can we please get to the reason we're all here?
What's that reason?
You've been thrown into the Superman universe. Using your knowledge, improve it if you can, or take advantage of it if you want.
Ben, why don't you go first?
I'm gonna send. I'm gonna give it time until. I mean, like nobody dies until General Zod appears,
Yes.
and so
Okay, I'll
I'm just
give you that.
gonna wait till they appear, and then I'm gonna go talk to Superman when he's on his farm talking to Lois. He's talking to the priest about what he's
So
going to do.
you're gonna
And I'm
figure out when that happens, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be in that church.
I'm
The priest is sweeping away, and he goes, "Why are you here?" I'm just waiting for someone. And
Yeah.
then
And I'm going to speak to him and about like if only we had someone who knew General Zod who could tell us like something about it. And then he's just going to be, oh yeah,
Like
my
I-
space dad.
yes. Oh, so you're gonna do what?
Yes. Yes.
How it should
Yes.
have happened did,
Yes.
and just try and don't talk to this priest. I'm sure you're perfectly nice, Mr. Priest.
Yeah.
But maybe you should go talk to the person. How are you going? Oh, you're doing it subtly, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You're not saying go talk to Jor-El,
No.
which would make Superman a bit suspicious.
How do you know? I go into the spaceship and I'm like, haha, hi Jor-El.
Oh, so you trek to the Antarctic, where I assume it is. Or
Oh yeah, I mean
North
if
Pole.
Rachel Adams?
Is it Rachel?
No.
McAdams. Amy
Adams.
Amy Adams. Thank you.
If she can survive
Wasn't
out
she in
there,
the
then
Muppets?
so can I.
No.
No.
Anyway, so you're going to trek to the, but you don't know where it is.
She was in the Muppets.
She was there.
Okay, fine. She's in the Muppets. Oh no, but that. Oh, you're going to try and break into the ship while the military are surrounding this thing in the ice.
Yeah.
Where was that?
In Antarctica.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it's in the north.
Do you mean the Arctic?
You don't know the exact. Well, I suppose if Kal-El was able to find it from some
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you know that where that service station is,
Yeah.
then you kind of know. So you want to try and break into the ship ahead of Amy Adams.
Yeah.
But she only got into the ship because Clark melted the ice with his heat vision.
Yeah.
So you need to be
So
right
I
behind
follow
him.
him afterwards.
Bring the heat gun.
So he's walking down there, burning his way through the ice.
Yeah.
And you're tiptoeing behind him, and hoping, and you know he's got superhero.
Yeah. And I'm just like, psst.
Hey buddy,
Hey, buddy.
Hey buddy.
Yes!
So you're there, and Superman's
I'm just going to
there.
make friends with him.
You're
I'm going to be like the
Jimmy.
Jimmy Olsen of him.
You're going to be the new Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Olsen dies in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, they just kill him off.
As
Like
he's a
the
CIA
best
agent.
friend.
The best friend is that's what's weird about those films. It's like Zack Snyder said, I don't really want Jimmy in
Jack
it.
Snyder.
Zack Snyder is what I said. It just sounded like Jacques. And he just kills Jimmy off.
Oui.
Are you French?
No.
Oh, Mr. Schneider, here's your table.
So that's what you're going to do. You're going
Yeah.
to try and convince Superman to use the ship. Go talk to Zor-El. Jor-El, who will go, oh, just use this ship and throw it at the other ship.
Yeah.
And then job done.
Mm-hmm.
But that only solves the problems in Man of Steel.
what-
Also, Zod still isn't on that ship when it happens. Oh no, because you do it when he's in space, so
Yeah.
it's fine. Okay,
I mean, it gives him 24 hours.
that's true. That's a lot of time. So, any problems with that, Scott?
No.
I can't see any problems with that.
No.
As long as Man of Steel goes, as long as Clark, whatever.
As long as Lex Luthor doesn't get his body on
Well, Zex.
his hands on.
Oh, well, actually,
That actually takes care of the Doomsday problem.
yeah, because Lex Luthor, Lex Zuckerberg isn't going to be able to get the Zod body, and therefore can't create Doomsday.
Yeah.
So that solves some problems in that.
No, it solves all of them.
Except that what's his face, Lex Luthor is still going to try and kill Superman and Batman in. He just can't do it with the Doomsday. So he's still going to go through his plan to try and get for some reason he's going to try and get Batman to kill Superman.
Yeah.
But then what he has failed to notice, even though he researched their lives meticulously, he didn't know that their mothers shared the same name, so he doesn't know that they'll become best friends like that based on that one piece.
That's a
of
weird way to become
information.
friends.
I thought about this, but a lot of friends I had when I was growing up consisted of just sitting next to them in school and being placed there randomly by a teacher, and then I became best friends with them for quite a few years. So it's like sit down next to him and goes, "Can I borrow your pencil?" Did we just become best friends? And
It's like that
Yeah.
scene out of Step Brothers.
because that's how a lot of people become best friends. They just end up in random situations and they just get on.
Unfortunately, it's not always where one of them has a spear aiming at the other guy's face, and he's just like, "Ugh,
Yeah,
do you know my mom's name?"
Yeah, that was a
It's
bit
just like,
weird.
"What? Speak up! Your foot is on my neck."
See,
Physically cannot.
as clever as Lex Luthor is, he just didn't recognise that. He just didn't know that people became friends based on the names of their parents.
Well, he's a socially awkward guy, so
Very socially awkward guy.
how's he supposed to know how people make friends?
Like, yeah. So that would have. Let's say that in Batman and Superman, he might have been able to get the fight going still. But after that, if they became friends, he's done.
Yeah.
So, but could you stop Batman and Superman getting hurt, like getting close to hurting each other? Could you prevent that?
Yes.
How do you prevent that?
So, you know in the car chase scene where Batman is chasing down Lex Luthor's guys?
Yes.
And then he crashes into Superman. I'm going to be standing right next to him.
They're going to be there. That Superman tears the top off the car. They have this little back and forth. Then suddenly you come out the shadows doing what?
I'm going to be like, "Dude, you're an idiot."
Who are you talking to?
Both of them.
Okay.
I know Superman can still hear me, even if he flies away.
Well, you might catch him and Batman together still.
And it's just like, come back.
Actually,
We're going to
you
talk
could
this
just
out
walk-
like men.
So what you could do, you just walk in and go, by the way, his mum's called Martha, and then walk away.
No.
You know what
that's
my
against the
favourite
rules.
name is? Martha.
And then Batman would go, your name is
Why
Martha?
did you say that name?
Yes, he would, actually. And then he would go, wait, your name's Martha? We should be best friends.
My name's not Martha. My mum's name is
Oh,
Martha.
no,
Get
sorry,
the
that's the wrong way around.
No, it's like that scene out of Step Brothers. Say your mum's name on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mother. So we just become best friends.
So yeah, so you just want to walk out of the shadows and say something to them.
It's like that Homer meme where he comes out the bush.
Oh,
Yes.
And then comes back in.
Ben just slides out the bush and goes, Martha's his name, and then slides back in. Or
Insert this meme
maybe
Do it, insert the meme.
You could just
Insert the meme.
I've-
Insert the meme.
Here's the meme. There, done. Right now, but that kind of breaks our rules of this, where you're basically just telling him something straight off. It needs to be. You need to manipulate the thing. We can't just have you go straight up to go, "Psst, hey buddy, his
Okay.
name's Martha. My mum's name's Martha," and stuff like that. Like how do you
Show me your birth certificate.
Um,
like how would you get like The weird thing is, right? Clark Kent is supposed to be this hotshot journalist. Batman's supposed to be this hotshot detective. And none of them are ever thinking, maybe this bad guy Lex Luthor is on the
Detective's a
level.
strong word.
Yeah.
He's a vigilante.
No, but he's still a detective.
He's a detective.
He's part of Detective Comics.
He's the first detective comic in Detective Comic.
Vigilante.
I'm not saying he's not a vigilante. I'm saying he's a vigilante detective.
Have you seen any of the animated shows with Batman?
No, I don't.
Where he's just like... Have you seen that clip where he's talking to Martian Manhunter when he's a human, and he climbs into his apartment and he's like, I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but I know full well that I just need a green rock for Superman, and with you I just need a box of matchsticks, and just lays him out.
Oh yeah.
And it's just...
I think I have seen that scene.
Yeah. And it's just
And he even manages to disappear from the Martian Manhunter, which should be impossible, but it's cool. That's what makes Batman cool in that scenario.
The disappearing trick.
It's just so rude, though. Now that I think about it, when the Flash pointed out how rude it was in Justice League, it is incredibly rude, especially to this one cop who's always got your back, and he just every time he turns around, you just leg it.
You've seen the clips where it's what if they saw him running away?
Yeah,
it's just
really
running down the corridor.
Don't turn! You turned around too soon. But there we go. But they kind of did that. No.
Tangent control.
Right.
Superman.
So,
Did you say Batman?
you must be able to convince Batman, well, actually, if you know where Lex Luthor's going to go, surely you can sort of show...
Send Batman on a holiday. So he's not there for the Superman fight, so I don't see any of it.
Or we do...
Or you stop that guy from blowing up in the Capitol building. You stop him and go, there's a bomb in your thing. You pretend to be a security guard and you just get a wand and go, say,
what is in there?
There's some explosive in there. And why is there a jar of
Everybody get down
on the top of this?
That is incredibly unsanitary. Dare you to drink it.
Why did they do that bit where she turns around that jar of pee? What was that for?
I don't know.
Anyway, there must be a way to convince Batman.
Tell you what,
Lex Luthor is possibly not trustworthy.
I don't need to convince him. When Lex Luthor is up on the helicopter pad with Amy Adams and he pushes her off.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to push him off afterwards.
You're going to... So, starting back in the days of Man of Steel, you get a low-level job at Lex Corp cleaning. You work on that day. You work your way up to the top of the tower. And you see Lex on the landing pad, and you push him off. But won't Superman rescue him?
Nah.
Yes.
I think Superman would save Lex Luthor if he pushed him off. So that's that theory.
Then he'd laser.
I'll push him off as soon as he catches.
Why don't you go
Lois.
save Martha?
Because
you know where she's going to get kidnapped.
Yeah, but I don't.
So you slash the tyres of that guy who's kidnapping her. It's can you imagine? He kidnaps her, bundles into the van, and goes, "We can't go anywhere. Call a backup car." And then you slash those cars too. Or you call the cops on them, so they kidnap Martha, and straight away cops are there. He's got no hostage. He can't force Clark Kent to go fight Batman. So Batman will just be standing in that industrial wasteland, looking up at the sky, going, "Where is this guy?"
Is the signal on?
It's the signal one.
It is on, yeah. Oh, it's a cloudless night. You can't see it.
But then again, we've already been through this. You don't have to stop the fight because it doesn't come to anything.
No. Also, Superman didn't really try to explain the situation well to Batman, did he?
No.
He was just like, Bruce, you have to listen to me. Brrr. And then it's like,
yeah, well,
fine.
He could have just destroyed those guns and go, okay. Thanks for that. I have something to tell you. Lex Luthor is forcing me to come here because he's got my mother, who's called Martha. Can you go, Martha? And that would just start all out, and it would end it.
You just got to be in the corner somewhere. He's going, Batman, use your words.
I know you've got a voice changer on, and it sounds stupid, but still. Talk it out!
Because Superman is the kind of person who, if he was actually played properly, Superman would destroy the guns, then those sonic blasters.
Don't insult Henry Cavill like that. He's a national treasure.
That is true.
I'm not saying that he doesn't look great as Superman and couldn't do it justice.
How dare you?
I'm not
Did you just say that?
I'm not saying that.
Scott, I think we should cancel him.
Yeah,
I'm not
cancelled.
saying that. I'm just saying it's a badly made film who underused Henry Cavill as Superman. But
I think it's cruel what I've done to him. oh look, we're going to bring you back in Black Adam, but no, you're fired now, buddy.
I mean, they didn't fire him because there wasn't a contract.
So let's recap a little bit where we got to so far, okay?
I'm confused.
Man of Steel. That's because you didn't watch the films before we had this episode.
Just not all the way
Years
through.
ago. Okay, gentlemen, let's recap.
Okay.
So far, we've got that in Man of Steel. All you need to do is be in that church and just mention. Do you know you're in a bit of a pickle? Like he's talking to the priest, and you just lean in and go, "Yeah, you're in a bit of a pickle there, sir." But
You
it's
need
a
to
shame.
put an accent on for it. You're in a bit of a pickle, mate.
Okay, you're in a bit of. Why am I doing the Scottish accent?
No,
You're in a bit of a pickle. What?
You know what? We don't need an accent.
No, we don't need an accent. You just
Everything
lean
needs an
in
accent.
as during that private conversation between the priest and Superman. You just lean in and go. It sounds like to me what you should do is and it's fine that you're asking this priest, but is there anyone else in your life? Like, do you have a dad or a mum or a dad who knows?
Do you have a dad?
Who knows?
No, he's dead. Or a mum or
Do you have
another dad?
Who would know something about? Do you know anyone who knows anything about this Zod character that you could ask for like advice, and then you'd have to go, "Oh yeah, my dad who knew him personally and got stabbed by him." And then that's Man of Steel solved because then Clark Kent would just take his ship, throw it at the Black Sun because that's what the ship is called for some. They never mention it. It would turn it into a black hole. It'd send it to the Phantom Zone. All the Kryptonians are gone. Job done. No one dies. No world-eating machine. Also, if you do that, there's no kryptonite because that smaller ship, that world engine ship, isn't creating kryptonite on the other side of the planet, which is where they get it from in Batman. So there's no kryptonite.
Yeah.
And then in Batman vs Superman, just to recap, all you need to do is like you don't have to do anything because nothing bad happens. Although you have to stop that bomb from going off in the Capitol building.
It's easy enough. Just become.
Just
Work your way up the police force.
Just break that. Actually, this sounds really bad. Break that guy's wheelchair, but have another one ready to go to replace it, and therefore there's no explosion.
Or you could push him off the statue before he starts spray painting it.
That's a bit bad for that gentleman who. But then again, no, he won't exist because in Man of Steel, no building falls down. He doesn't lose his legs. But let's say that did happen. You had no choice. You just have to prevent the bomb explosion. You have to save Jimmy so far, and that's easy enough. You just have to make sure the guy doesn't get the phone call, and they'll just go off. It'll be fine. And
Alright.
that's
Job done.
No, we're in Justice League now. So
Well, none of it happens.
None of it happens because Superman doesn't die.
so let's imagine.
None of it happens. No, you can't imagine it now.
No.
It doesn't happen. No.
Okay, guys. I'm throwing you now in at the beginning of Justice League.
You can't do
Everything
that.
else is
You can't change the rules.
No, because it only happens because of Superman.
I just want to imagine where instead you couldn't do anything else. Could you solve the problems in Justice League if they still existed?
Yes, just tell Flash to go really fast back in time. Get Superman involved well earlier. Everything's solved.
Is it?
I don't know. It just came up with it on the spot.
I mean, you got to help those people who keep getting kidnapped by Steppenwolf.
Yeah, don't go to
I
work.
suppose you could tell him early where the boxes are.
Tell Steppenwolf where the boxes are.
Yeah, just like get it out of the way.
Just like,
There's some. Okay, the people that need. There's some Amazonians who need to be saved. There's some Aquaman, Atlanteans who need to be
Aquanauts.
saved.
two.
And then there's those people in the Kryptonian ship where the other cube was apparently found. So could you get to Amazon Island in a wig and then like pretend to be an Amazonian and then like be there to kill
No, that seems
Steppenwolf?
too far. That you're going to get cancelled.
I'm going to get cancelled for that. I know, it's a perfectly legitimate disguise.
What,
It's
just with?
well, no, like try and infiltrate. Okay, let's say
You could be
well,
like
we're all
Chris
guys,
Pine.
but a girl, like we. No, that's not going to work.
No,
It's not like this is going to work. Like
You'd just be
you
like-
can't infiltrate Amazonia.
I can only
because-
apologise, Internet. I just doesn't mean it.
I don't mean anything. I'm just trying to say, is there a way to infiltrate Amazon Island so you can be there when Steppenwolf shows up
Yes,
and
climb
maybe
through
kill
the
him
trees.
earlier?
You could fly in and be like,
Not touching the ground.
no, you could do like what Chris Pine does in Wonder Woman, where he's just like,
accidentally crash.
yeah, and
So
he's
crash on Amazonian Island.
because like they don't actually do anything to him.
And before Steppenwolf turns up, you crash accidentally on Amazon. they tie you up and prepare to probably execute you because you're not supposed to be there.
But
And
then you get a sweet
by the
bath.
way, Steppenwolf is about to turn up. Maybe you should put that box you're guarding in like a giant
I feel like
trap.
that's against the rules as
Why
well.
would they listen to
That's
you?
true. They wouldn't. Okay, that doesn't work.
So
Why
there's
would they
no
listen
way
to
to
you?
save the Amazons.
Yeah, you can't really. That's a bit of a shame.
But if we're going off, then Superman's still around, so you can just be like, Psst, Superman, I know you can hear me. Go over there.
No, that's too much. That's too much. You can't. So you can't save them. You can't really save the Atlanteans.
No, unless you
Also,
can hold
don't
your
know
breath for a
where-
really
also,
long time.
you don't know
I did
where
that.
you don't know where Amazonian Island is. It's protected by that magical thing, big
Yeah.
barrier, and you don't know where the Atlanteans were keeping that box.
I've got an idea.
Go on then.
You know how the Flash has a multiverse?
Yeah.
No,
Assuming that we can travel through the multiverse, we just get Doctor Strange involved.
no, because you have to be.
Stop it! Stop it! That's like you broke one of the biggest rules here. You can't just go into another universe.
Why not?
and do
They're doing it.
It's true.
You could possibly.
It's actually not a
No,
different
you know what,
universe,
though?
it's
No,
different
I'm
times.
sorry. No, but you can't do that either. I was going to say you just go find the Flash.
Not a different time,
And
because
convince-
Batman gets older. You can't just get old. You don't get
'Cause you
older.
could- You could easily convince the Flash.
What?
No, because he's going back and Michael Keaton's well old.
Yeah, but that's different.
No, but
because it's a
they've
different
given
universe.
him a new face thanks to the computer generation technology.
Also, that suit looks.
Could you convince the Flash to go run and pick up the Amazonian box and swim down and grab the Atlantean box and then bring them to Batman like that? Well, that wouldn't be any good because Steppenwolf would just show up and have all three of them. I don't think there is a way to help those people.
Kill Steppenwolf.
But Steppenwolf first arrives in Amazon.
Aim
on
for the
Amazonian-
face!
Yeah, they do tend to miss the face, don't they? When they
I mean,
try?
it's a very small face.
Go for the eyeballs.
That's right though. He first appears attacking. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't appear on Earth somewhere else and go, "This isn't it," and then disappear somewhere.
It's
else.
just like,
Like, does he set up?
I
his-
missed!
Does
Like
he-
the penguins in Madagascar where
Yes,
they're digging the hole
exactly.
and they're
Like, does
like, where are
the
we?
boom tube comes down, and does he start on that?
He lands on the island.
Yes, that's the first time he
Yep.
arrives. See, there's no way to get to. Oh no, no. Wonder Woman can go there. She knows where it is. She's powerful enough to stop it. You got to convince Wonder Woman to go back and talk to her mum. Then she's there to fight Steppenwolf, but she can't defeat Steppenwolf, even though she should be able to in the comic books.
She can't defeat Steppenwolf.
So what you just got to, if you can convince Diana to go back home just for like a holiday, right when Steppenwolf is attacking, like she'll come.
Oh,
"Mum,
Mother's Day is coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Greek Mother's Day is coming up. 'Cause it's Greek. She goes, okay, I'll go. If you can
I will
subtly
send a card.
subtly. No, don't send the card. This requires the personal touch, Diana. So she's on.
Take the card, take some flowers,
Maybe a box of chocolates.
And then there's this scene where
take some English delicacies.
Then there's this scene where like Hippolyta's really anxious about this box about to open, and Diana walks in with flowers and candy. Goes, "Mum, I'm here to say, shut up, Diana. We've got this real big problem." But then Steppenwolf will appear, and Diana will
And
take him
Diana
out.
fights him with a box of chocolates and the flowers.
Exactly, and because Diana surely is powerful enough to at
Yeah,
least
with
hobble Steppenwolf.
With the bracelet thing.
Exactly.
Because, as we all know, life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know when a giant alien is going to come through.
That's the
one.
You really missed out there, Tom Hanks.
So,
Forrest
and then
Gump
Wonder
reference.
Woman. So, how do you convince Wonder Woman to get to Amazon and maybe deal with Steppenwolf a bit earlier? You could always pretend. Oh, do you know what you do? You fire an arrow into that place in Greece just a few days before. She'll go there, figure it all out beforehand, and go, "I need some more information. I'm gonna go talk to my mum." Is Diana allowed back on Amazonia?
Yes.
No.
Like, why is she not? She didn't leave under false pretenses. Her
No.
mum let her go. didn't
But I'm
she?
pretty sure that once you leave, you can't return.
That seems.
At least in the comics, you can't.
That doesn't sound right, does it?
I'm relatively certain.
No, in the comic books, Diana comes and goes from Amazonia freely.
What is it where
Almost
she...
every female superhero in DC just like knows of Amazonia and just holidays there for various reasons. I'm sure of it. And no men are allowed. But there we go. And it's just so like,
It's
could you
basically the
convince
equivalent
Diana?
of a girls'
There
club.
must be a way to convince Diana. It's against the rules to send her a letter written in Greek.
Yes.
It won't be. It won't be written in Greek. It's going to be like cut out of newspapers and stuff like that. And like, go home.
Why did my mum write our newspapers? Where did she get the newspapers? Like, you just got to convince Diana to go home just like after Batman Superman. You just like go, "Psst, hey, we're not buddy. Hey, Diana, just go back home. No, you can't do that.
Why would Diana not be your buddy?
Well, I don't know.
So, when has that ever applied to any of this?
It's true.
The entire phrase is meaningless if that's your
No,
definition.
but isn't buddy the male equivalent of saying, hey buddy?
Hey, Budess?
Hey buddies? Doesn't sound right.
I don't know. Tell us, internet.
Anyway, yeah. In the comments, what do you say? If you go to a man, it's like, hey buddy. What do you do if you go to a girl?
Why would they not be your buddy still? Do you not like women?
No, I thought that the buddy phrase was the male one.
I'm not sure what the equivalent is.
Google it.
Tell us in the comments. I could Google it, and I will.
But I won't.
But I won't.
Or maybe we'll just
I want you to comment because it gets us more engagement. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, comment like you did on that Nazi one the other day. We got 710 views on that
No,
one.
stop saying. Don't. That's the worst possible way to tell them about what that video was.
What?
It was
Nazi what?
No, stop it. No, go check out the
I didn't watch it, I
the
just
Dick
saw the Nazi
Dastardly
in the
video.
comments.
I did. Fine, that's done. Let's not. Don't just drop Nazi into the feed like it means like. Goodness gracious.
Here's a picture.
I might cut this bit out now.
Do it. Because I just said, here's a picture. You can't do that.
Anyway, so we can't actually. It seems like we can't actually save those lives in Justice League.
Alas, no. However, if we are going on from continuity, then we do.
You do if you resolve Superman,
Which we did.
Man of Steel, and Batman, which we did. I don't see a flaw in any of those.
What an
plans.
entirely pointless last 10 minutes that was.
No, like I still want to sort of figure out. Well, there's no other major deaths. Like, could you revive Superman?
No,
you
because
can't
Superman's
do
not
that.
dead. He's still alive.
But I'm going on the premise that we didn't solve that in order to take a closer look. Fine, we're done.
Also, how did the soil rise in at the end of Batman vs Superman?
Yeah, that's weird.
When he was dead,
Maybe.
because the implication of that was, oh, he's not dead. He's about to fly up now.
Well, that was just teasing us, wasn't
But
it?
that's just like stupid because like what was.
So you're making Ben cry.
It's fine.
Honestly, DC. See what you did to us. You make us talk about Doctor Strange for no reason.
Anyway, I think we can stop there and say that we can resolve quite neatly Man of Steel and
Yeah, we're showing up in church.
and Batman versus Superman. We can resolve those things. We could probably keep Lex Luthor in jail in Batman versus Superman in Justice League by just sending a letter to the jail saying they're going to replace him with another bald guy, so don't let any bald people into your prison, and Lex Luthor will still be. Why did they shave his
Why
head?
would they believe you?
I
Well,
don't know.
How were they actually fooled? He did look nothing like him.
Yeah, it didn't look
Because the
like that.
people in Gotham were.
It seems that-
He looked like the Vulture from Spider-Man.
But it
Michael
seems-
Keaton?
I think the problem is in the DC extended universe, if you're bald, you all look the same, and there's like an object impermanence there.
They're hairists.
Yes, they don't. They probably thought Professor X.
Maybe that's why they think.
Professor X was a mix between Lex Luthor and the guy with the
In the
exploding
cell.
wheelchair.
What's the guy
In
who
Batman
knows
vs Superman.
Professor X's name in the.
You got to stop
First
Lex
class.
Luthor from getting out of jail, though.
Charles
Not
Xavier?
entirely.
No, the actor.
Oh, James McAvoy.
There you go, that's one.
Do you know what's interesting? Lex Luthor at the end of that film, he has 2 female assistants on the boat with him. They're supposed to be Amazonians.
Are they?
Yeah, well, in the comic books they are.
Yeah.
I'm bringing that up for no
Stab
reason.
'em.
How did he
Do
get
you know what
them?
you could do? Since I think that was in
Chloroform.
Morocco. I think it was in Morocco, that bay, that famous bay in Morocco. If you know where Lex Luthor is, you could torpedo his boat at the very end of the film.
Yeah.
And that solves the Lex Luthor and Deathstroke problem.
Yeah.
And it's not like you'd be doing the world a favour. Right. So we've done how to resolve most of this.
Well, actually, that was only my go, so it's Scott's getting out.
No, we don't have time for that.
Why don't we
I'll
talk
just get
about
it.
briefly?
We all
could you take
contributed.
advantage of anything in with your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes.
How?
Do you reckon if you ate kryptonite, you'd become Superman?
Your internal organs would
No,
explode.
because how can you become Superman from the thing that actually stops Superman?
I don't know. But, like, or if you spent long enough on kryptonite.
Put those down. They're in Smallville, which is like a.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Is
seen
that,
Smallville?
is that the one with
I have seen
what's
clips.
his face? The guy from.
Yes.
I don't
But yes, it's that guy.
We spent the entire episode last time talking about who this guy
Anyway,
was.
Small.
Who is it?
Smallville.
Nathan Fillion.
No, that's
No.
not it.
What am I
In
thinking of?
Smallville, which is Clark Kent the early years.
Ah, yes.
Kryptonite is giving people all sorts of superpowers, but it's
sick.
very random and you can't control it, so you can't give yourself those powers.
Do you reckon if I got a blood transfusion from Superman, then I'd get some powers?
Do you know what you could do if you wanted superpowers desperately? If you know where the cube is, you can give yourself Cyborg's powers.
I don't want Cyborg's powers. Cyborg is boring.
I turn into
Really?
Green Lantern.
He's one of the most powerful of the bunch.
Yeah, but I don't want to be...
He can literally give money to
robot.
anyone he wants.
I don't want to be a robot, though.
Okay, we don't know how the Flash... You can't get the Flash's
I'll see if I can
powers.
find a Green Lantern ring.
You can't...
I become
Ooh.
the Flash.
Well, no, because the Green Lantern ring is currently in someone else's hands.
I'll try and kill that guy.
Also, you think you can deserve the Green Lantern ring?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you? Do you have the ability to overcome great fear?
Yes.
You just saying
In
that.
darkest day, in brightest
Completely
night.
wrong.
No,
From the
evil.
very first sentence.
In darkest day,
In blackest night.
no evil shall escape my sight.
In brightest day, in blackest night. You got it wrong.
Well, that's basically the same thing.
You do not deserve either of you to become a Green Lantern.
I've climbed many
And
a
one-
tree and never been afraid.
No, it's
Maybe
the
you're
ability
good.
to overcome.
Change
I
group.
can overcome fear.
That's not overcoming great fear. That's having no fear.
I can. So, what's the difference?
If you have no fear at all, then you have no skill at overcoming great fear because you don't face it.
I'm true
Have you
because
not
I
seen
was
my life?
afraid of water and I started swimming.
Okay.
Boom.
Then that
You're
means
not
you need
afraid
to,
of
the
water.
green the lantern. Okay, first
I'm
off,
gonna
in
kill
this
her.
universe, at no point is a Green Lantern ring ever seen.
Untrue. In
That's
Zack
a
Snyder-
flashback.
Yeah, but it's there.
That happened
And
thousands
it
of years ago.
flew away.
And then you're not
and
there.
it came to
No,
me.
no, we can,
No.
we can. We become Shazam.
Yes, we are pure of
No.
heart and we just crash on the side of the road.
No.
All
And
those
get
little
steamed
teenagers
by-
did for no
No.
reason, so why can't we?
No,
Yeah.
because Shazam is not a part of this trilogy we're
Yeah,
talking
but
about.
Billy is not.
Try
In
again.
the
Yeah.
same universe.
Okay, the only superpower you can realistically get is cyborgs.
No, I climb a building and get struck by lightning like Flash does.
That's not how Flash gets his powers.
Yes, it is.
I become
No, it's
Spider-Man.
not.
Yeah, it is. Watch the CW show. That's how he gets his
That's
powers.
the CW show. We're in the
How does he get
the
his powers?
Detective Comic extended universe.
How does Flash get his powers in there?
Well, you don't see it.
Exactly.
He just says it happened like this. But you can't
Since we
recreate
can do
it.
anything in this universe, apparently.
You can't
I
recreate
invent
it.
spiders that can bite me and I become Spider-Man.
That's
and there
a
we go.
great idea.
Guys, just use a mother box to give you
No,
cyborg
I
powers.
don't want
Stupid.
Cyberman.
Then you're stuffed. You can't have anything else.
I become Batman. No, I become the new Robin. There you go.
I
And then
become
I get
Batman.
access to all of Batman's gadgets.
How do you convince Batman to make you the new Robin?
I become
Hey.
an orphan.
Oh my goodness.
And I just sit on the side of
Wow.
the road, waiting until he pulls up, and then I'm like,
What was signs saying I am an orphan, and hope that Batman just out of all the orphans
I'm
he
an
could
orphan,
help.
and I could potentially fight. There you
No,
go.
just Batman going to the shops. Like, oh, look, an orphan, you're mine now.
Yeah, you make it sound like Batman just shops around for
He
him.
does.
No, he doesn't. He chooses.
Doobie
the
doo, what a
purpose.
nice day. Oh,
Did
look
he,
at
do
an
you know
orphan.
how Jason Todd became Robin? He was hijacking the Batman. He was stealing the Batman
Well, there you
Beetle's
go, that's what you do, steal
wheels.
the Batman
So I just steal the Batman Beetle's wheels, and I'm just like,
But then he'll go, "Do you have any special skills?" And then you'll say,
I've just stolen your wheels.
"That's a special skill." Oh, that makes you a criminal. In which case, he'll beat you up and send you to Arkham Asylum.
No, he
Because that's
did-
where all the criminals deserve to go. Apparently, every single criminal in
Any
Gotham
criminal
just
in
goes to the
Gotham
insane
is a
asylum.
loony.
Yes, it's that's weird. That's a weird system. Speaks volumes about the American justice system.
But then there's also Blackgate.
So no, you can't really become superpowered. Could you make money from anything you know?
I do.
Could you take over LexCorp? for example?
Yes,
Yes.
I beat him at basketball in Batman vs Superman.
Well, then he'd hate you and he'd probably kill you.
Yeah, but then my name's in his head.
There must be some stock thing. That
How
you can do.
powerful is Lex Luthor in the first Superman film? Like, how powerful is his
He
company?
has absolutely no powers.
Oh, then we invest in his company.
He's
No, his power, his company power, not his actual
How,
powers.
like...
what do you mean in Man of Steel?
Yeah, like,
Well, in
how
Man of
successful is his
Steel,
company?
LexCorp is mentioned in the background.
As is
okay?
Wayne
Okay.
Enterprises.
Is that a...
It's one of the
successful
richest
company?
It's one of the most successful
Oh,
companies
so-
in the DC universe.
So stocks aren't an option then?
So you could, well,
We-
you wouldn't have any money to buy the stocks.
No, you said we get...
You
That's
get starting
true, we get
resources.
starting resources.
So you're going to buy Lex Luthor stock.
But we won't be enough.
But if you think about it, Lex Luthor's going to go tank when their guy is literally arrested for trying to kill Superman. So that's not good. You could short the stock then. You could short Lex Luthor stock since you know they're going to tank based on that. Or is there something? if you know where the ship is, right? Okay, here's
I
the thing.
become Alfred.
Man of Steel starts.
Yes, we show up at the forest and be like, there's a gap in the water.
You're gonna.
It's the Batcave.
You're gonna out Batman. Is that's your thing?
No, we use it as criminal leverage, and then
You're gonna blackmail. But have you not seen the Christian Bale thing? He goes, "Let me get this straight. There's a person who's a billionaire, has loads of political connections, and knows this superpowered individual, and beats up criminals on a nightly basis.
Yes.
And your plan is to blackmail this person?
Yes.
yeah,
No. It's not
there's
gonna
no
work.
Morgan Freeman to back him up in this.
I suppose that's true.
Samuel Jackson does it though.
He's not in it.
He exists in every universe. Have you got
Okay.
Star Wars, Marvel?
Now that I think about it, the DC universe doesn't have a way of transferring its superpowers all that easily. Like, if you wanted to be Spider-Man, you just got to push Peter Parker at the side, to one side, and get bitten yourself.
Well, Marvel is about men with powers as curses, and DC is gods among men.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly accurate sort of statement about it. So you can't really get
It's like
into
anyone
superpowers.
can be Spider-Man, but and
You must
anyone
be-
can be Clark Kent, but no one can be Superman.
Do you know what you could do, right? Since the Man of Steel starts on that ship, like the Clark Kent's on the ship and he rescues that oil rig, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably a few weeks later that he hears about the Kryptonian ship.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from going to that Kryptonian ship, digging your way down to the ice to it, and then you get killed by the security. You need that little key thing.
Yeah,
that's
but we
in-
know it is. It's in the shed, isn't it?
No, Superman has it on him
No,
at the
but-
beginning of the film.
That's
no,
true.
It's in the shed.
We could swim down, find his body, just take it off, and like.
Oh, so you're
swim
in the
up.
water beneath the oil rig.
Yeah.
He's floating there, and then so you reach it with your hand and take it off him.
No,
Or
no.
he stop you right then and there.
No, because he's asleep, thinking about his childhood.
Was he asleep?
Oh no, he's paralysed or something.
Okay, so you can't
He was
actually.
knocked out at least.
So that does that theory. You
No,
can't
no.
actually gain access
No,
to
the
the ship.
key's in the shed.
No, it isn't.
No,
What am I
he's
thinking
had-
of?
That's later.
That's later.
That's a flashback.
Go to the shed.
What, and steal the Superman's ship, baby ship,
Sell it.
and then sell it on eBay.
Slightly used.
Sorry. No, sorry. Used only once.
Do you fancy sending your baby to another planet? Here you go.
I suppose you could do that. Because Martha Kent presumably leaves the farm occasionally to go get shopping.
Yeah.
You sneak in and you take the ship. Which,
Could also
by the way, you taking it and selling it now means that there's no way to stop Zod. So you that's not going to work because then you're going to be on a doomed planet.
No, 'cause
yeah,
this
you've
is
got
completely
some money, but the world is being killed by Kryptonians. So
As long as I know you do that.
I make friends with Zod.
As long as I die rich, it doesn't matter.
how?
I
And
love
why?
your facial hair. There you go.
Why would you make friends with Zod?
You've got no face trade.
Because then he might keep me around when he changes it into
So-
Krypton.
So there's no.
I
I
can
don't
be
think.
his human pet or something.
I don't think there is any real way a human pet. Do what? He's not gonna stroke you.
You
Oh,
made
yes,
it
my
weird.
human
Sets up a little litter box in the corner of his Kryptonian mansion. That's not gonna work. So it doesn't seem like you could take advantage of the situation and give yourself more power or money in the Man of Steel one. In the Batman versus Superman,
Become
you
a
do-
hero. By
can't-
stopping the bomb.
I could wear a cape and then Martha will think I'm Superman's friend.
what good does that do you?
Then I'm automatically his friend. I can pop round for coffee.
What's the point of being Superman's friend?
Well, no, because if you're getting
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights. You could short Lex Luthor's stock. You could do that.
I could.
I don't know what else you can do. You could. Do you know what you could do? Right? No, you can't. But you could have like. Do you know that? Do you know in Justice League? you could
I've
be-
got it.
you
I've
could
got it.
be-
I've got it.
Hang
I've
on,
got it.
let me
I've
finish
got
this.
it. I've got it. I've got it.
I want to finish this.
I've got it.
You-
I've got it.
You know that
there's
there's this whole like Greek wall memorial of Darkseid.
Oh, yeah.
So you just uncover it and you go, look what I discovered, and you get famous archaeology
That's a good idea.
archaeologists.
I was more thinking in Man of Steel, you could go to France
Yeah.
and go talk to Diana and be like, you know, something's happening over in New York, Metropolis. Can you go help?
Oh, you mean she could have been there to help out against Zod.
You wait till she's on the cafe and you just go up to her and go, you know what we should do? Take a trip. Let's just take a trip.
Take a trip to
To where?
Metropolis.
New York.
No, Metropolis.
There's no New York.
Metropolis is New York, I'm sure.
No, it's Gotham. It's New York.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Right, guys. I think it's now. We've got a bit longer than we should have.
Okay,
That.
so we've got
But
one
then
more
again,
question
it's
to
actually
answer.
quite. I realise now that it's actually quite hard to get anything out of the universe.
If we didn't spend 20 minutes
Because
talking
it's so
about
poorly
Shazam,
written.
I suppose that's true. No,
speaking of
it's
being
actually
poorly
quite-
written, this brings us on to our next question. How would we improve the DCU? EU.
Yes.
What do we want to happen?
Yes. What do we want to have happen
Not the
in the
EU.
future?
We left that years ago.
In the
Just
DC, in the detective comic, other than having its shared universe of Sherlock Holmes, Miss Marple, and Columbo.
Come on, Ben, you come back to
then-
where you want to.
No, not that Sherlock.
I would also accept Johnny Lee Miller
Good.
because he was very good.
I'm glad you mentioned him. Either way, what do you think the DC EU needs to do to
Be
actually
better.
sort of... It needs.
It
I
just-
think
it just
if
needs to be
James Gunn is
Marvel.
going to be it. It needs It needs a person who overseeing and knows where everything's going and has a
It needs
goal
underlying
at the end of
storyline.
it. A
Not
bad
necess-
guy at the end, a plot at the end.
Not necessarily. Well, they need to take care of their big hitters. So Batman, Superman, and then only then, once they've done them, can they move on to like less known names because we know that they can make good films with Superman and Batman. So we trust them that they can make good films. So like no one would have thought Peacemaker would be a good show, and yet it's been decent. And
Yeah, but
no one thought
But no one
Suicide-
knew who Peacemaker was before
No,
Suicide Squad.
and James Gunn proved that he could do it with them, and so we
I
trusted
see.
that happened. So if they take care of Batman, Superman, get them down, then they can move on to smaller projects.
The thing is, I don't know. It's not always necessary for them to do the smaller projects.
No, but
like
if
they don't
if
need
they
to-
want to expand, then they
I mean,
can.
they can obviously take us. Like Shazam was a fairly unknown. Like I think everyone knows that Captain. Is it Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is Captain. There's a lot of Captain Marvels in the world, but
Be more creative.
he was fairly obscure to perhaps a mainstream audience,
Yeah.
and his film worked. Aquaman, I would like. They pulled it off
I
brilliantly.
didn't
Yeah.
do that.
And at least they got to the underwater superhero first before Marvel did, and did it really well.
What did Marvel do?
Namor.
Namor, but that
Oh,
wasn't.
Black Panther. I'm not seeing
Namor.
That was very different. I didn't hate it or like it, but it's like it's there. But Aquaman got it out, the underwater superhero. I don't know what there's. Green Lantern they need to do better.
But still with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I don't think Ryan Reynolds is suited to be Hal Jordan, to be
How
honest.
dare you?
I don't think Hal Jordan
He's
is
an American
this-
national treasure.
No, but Nathan Fillion voices a better Hal Jordan in a.
He's a Canadian national treasure.
Oh, I'm not saying that Ryan Reynolds is not a Canadian national treasure,
He's the only good thing to come out of Canada.
but
How
dare you?
Maple syrup.
Yes.
He is the only second.
And nice people generally. But I don't know. It's like I think they should go. Let's think of a bad guy like Thanos, but humanized him like Thanos
then
was sort of.
Marvel actually didn't have an overarching idea.
He didn't.
No, they knew that they
That's
wanted
right.
to do. They knew that they wanted to do like the Avengers, so they did their big hitters. So Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and
But
they
didn't
made.
they have the Infinity War planned? Was it?
No.
Well,
Not
why did they
until-
have the Infinity Stones from the very beginning then?
They didn't.
It was
No,
just,
they had the cube.
No, that was just the Tesseract.
Just the Tesseract.
They
Yeah, but it was-
until before Guardians of the Galaxy, they didn't know where all the stones were.
I suppose they didn't know. The Tesseract could have been anything they wanted it to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it could have just
fine,
been the
I can
Tesseract.
go
So
with that, yeah.
they only threw in a Thanos teaser at the end because they knew that they wanted to do something with him later.
But don't you think DCU should do this? Should actually have a plan?
Well, they need to have like a
Like have
let's work
Darkseid
towards a Justice League
or
film.
Necron or Krona or I'm trying to think of some other big hitter now. In
They just need to think, let's move towards a Justice League film, but then they also need to just like go with what works, because like the reason that like Iron Man got a sequel immediately after
Which
the
wasn't a
first
good
one,
sequel.
What I think.
and Hulk didn't, is
I
because
discussed-
of what people want.
I've discussed this with you guys before. I think where what they should do to differentiate themselves from Marvel, but still have a good, is not do a Flash film or a Superman film or a
Too
Green
late.
Lantern film. No, I know, but but the Flash film, right? if you look at, we're doing this just as the trailer has pretty much come out.
Like yesterday.
There's Kara Zor-El, so that's Supergirl, and Batman and the Flash. That's not a Flash film. That's a multi-Justice League character sort of
There's
film.
multiple
and
Batmans,
that's what
aren't there?
they should do. DC should abandon the idea of individual films and do multiple films where you have 4 members of the Justice League or 7 members of the Justice League, all trying to resolve something
makes
together,
sense because-
like the animated series, which was really good, which did the same thing.
I think that makes sense because every Marvel film you go like, why didn't they just call Iron Man or I was going to say or Captain America or Hulk? Because they're 2 minutes away. Just call them.
Yes.
So I think that
Captain
works.
America, I've got to deal with these giant spaceship things. If I don't, every 20,000 people will be assassinated by these magic
By the way,
bullets.
Iron Man, you can fly. Why don't you just come over?
Yeah, Iron Man, Hulk, can you come? Thor, can you come? Yeah, of course. Problem solved, no issue. And that's why DC should do that. They shouldn't do these things where you are always constantly wondering, why is the Flash trying to deal with this on himself when there's plenty of capable people around? That's what they need to do for Justice League. There's nothing, they don't need to... for DC films, just have 4 characters solving a problem, and the DC animated universe proved that you can have multiple different stories involving some of the biggest sort of bad guys, and it works. You could even have the Joker in it, because there's an excellent DC animated universe one where it's the Joker and the Royal Flush Gang, and the Royal Flush Gang have the superpowers which match the Justice League powers. And you just say, where's Wonder Woman in this film? Or say she's off dealing with something else. Or where's Green Lantern? He goes, he's out in space where he should be because he's got to police a section of the universe which is tens of billions of light years across. That made sense. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, that solves it.
That's what they should do.
They need to clear up the storylines as well because there's too many unended ones.
And it's like, is Darkseid going to be this major villain? And then now we'll never know. And it's like, we didn't need those
because
teasers.
they've started too many now. Because they've done the Justice League. That they started on cliffhanger.
Do you think they should just restart?
I think they just need to
Drop everything before,
because
though we've said
in Black
that
Adam they
Wonder
started this whole Shazam storyline now, which doesn't work.
But so,
If you've seen Black Adam, if you've seen Shazam, you've seen Black Adam basically.
have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
same film
Is it?
Nah.
essentially.
It's
A
not.
guy gets a superhero. A guy gets superpower from a wizard. Things happen.
I don't really
That's the
want
same
them
as Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Wow! Don't bring Benedict Cumberbatch into this.
But I don't want them to restart it because they've got some good things going.
I think what they can do is keep Wonder Woman because that's a flashback film and that doesn't affect anything.
Aquaman film.
Aquaman is fine. I mean, there's no reference to anything, and
Obviously
that could
replace the Flash actor, but keep the Flash as
With-
they go. I have no idea who to replace the Flash with.
Timothy Chalamet.
No,
Really?
no.
I'm just throwing out
Actually, you
names.
could.
Tom Holland.
Yes.
That'd be confusing, but yes.
Be funny.
Imagine if he's 2 different characters. But also, can we also point out that
Well,
in
remember,
Justice League, Barry Allen is basically Peter Parker.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he's got no.
Awkward.
He's got no dead uncle.
He's got a dead mum.
Yeah, but his dad's in jail, and he's actually with his dad. He knows his dad didn't do it.
Andrew
But then-
Garfield.
But then but then
Maybe.
he's like, oh, I'm just, and he's just like, oh, what are your powers? I'm rich, and
See,
Tony
that's
Stark.
not a funny moment. I didn't like that moment.
I hate brunch, and it's like, for goodness sake, man up.
I hate sand.
But
Of course, it's rough.
God no.
Yes, we should get Hayden Christen and just de-age him 30 years, and he
De-age
can be
him.
Flash.
It sounds like there's a
Get
machine that
you
does
and
it.
McGregor to play someone else as
Yes,
well.
he can be Batman.
He can be Reverse Flash.
Yes.
Actually, that would work. He could be Reverse Flash. I can see that. Okay, so to fix the DEU,
Also,
Just get
How-
started.
just continue with the current theme, but just kind of restart it.
who thought of Reverse Flash? I mean, who thought?
Well, comic
Oh,
book writer.
I'm we
flapping
need a
this one
villain.
backwards.
We need a villain for the Flash, and it's like, oh, it's Reverse Flash.
But
He's
weirdly, he
yellow
is-
but red, but red.
No, but
yeah.
he is the reverse because he doesn't actually run fast.
Yeah, but
Which
what
is
kind of name is Reverse
He just
Flash?
runs backwards.
No, what he does, I think, if I'm right about
Just
this,
legging it
he
backwards.
controls time, so he can slow down time for everyone else but himself, so it looks like he's going fast, I think. So the Flash can compete with him because the Flash can move so fast that he catches up with his
I've just
time.
solved time travel in this universe.
Have you?
We take care of Reverse Flash.
No, just not in the...
Who we've not seen.
No, but so this is just science now.
Yes, finally. That's what I always wanted this to be about. The science.
In this one, the one we're living in currently.
Yes.
If you go far enough out into space,
Yeah.
they're still looking at dinosaurs. So all we got to do there is get there quicker, and then we'll be looking at dinosaurs.
Beat
There
the
you
light
go.
there. Oh no, that would work.
There
If
you
you
go,
could go
like,
far, but you can't go
that's-
faster than light.
Well, find a way.
Fine. Oh, I'll get right on that.
That's how we solve time
If
travel.
Flash can do it, then we can.
And on that bombshell,
Yeah, I think it's time to end this episode.
Oh.
Except, just quickly, Superman is all about.
Quickly means like
Superman
20
is all
minutes in
about
this
a
show.
person with massive amounts of power who's really good, kind, sweet, honest, decent. Everything America is not, but hopes, wishes was, and he's like this hero, godlike figure that we like. Okay.
Yes.
Now they've done the opposite of that in like The Boys, where Homelander character, and even in a bit like Invincible, where the Superman character is totally bad and evil. And how do you deal with a universe where you know your Superman, who's this ultra powerful person, has gone bad? And Injustice, that storyline in DCU, has also done the bad Superman. Okay, so there's those two sides of the Superman coin. I have this idea that where could you take that whole idea of incredibly, insanely powerful superhero? Actually, One Punch Man does it as well. That's another one to check out. But what if instead of one superhero individual, let's say all of humanity had Superman's powers? They're not relating it to Superman. They just have his power set. Okay. Could you write a story based on that?
no, it'd be uninteresting.
Yes.
Why would it be uninteresting though?
Because they would all find a way to work out eventually, and it would just be like.
But imagine humans.
No,
with
it
human
would just be
feelings.
their normal.
But wouldn't you still try to have power struggles? But the problem is,
Well, no,
everyone's
because-
got the same power.
Because the world around it would adapt, and it would just be in this universe with normal how they would adapt and find things and just live normally.
You know, we could.
But you could
If
fly
everyone
and be
had-
super strong. Nothing.
So
The entire human race would be made of people who can't really die by any conventional means.
If everyone had that superpower,
That exact
we
same
could move
power
the
set.
Earth.
Why would you want to move the Earth?
yes,
Like-
further away.
Like global warming.
No, but if you start pushing the Earth away from the sun, it will
If,
freeze over.
if you all
and
if you all
Kryptonians,
flew
Superman
like
still
far
needs
enough,
air.
if we all flew,
You're thinking of Christopher Reeve, Superman.
yeah.
You
If we
can't
all
do
flew
that in
like
this
that,
one. Oh.
then we would reverse the entire thing, and we'd all.
But why do that?
I don't know.
No,
That-
it'd just
no,
be
it's like surely there must be.
no,
If everyone
No.
has the same power set.
no, because it happens that we all have the same power set. We worked out fine.
Well, no, we don't. Oh no, because
Yeah, but I
no,
wanna
we all have
fly.
every
Me
human
too.
on Earth pretty much has the same power level. Okay, yeah, there are
Because
some stronger
what
than
we-
others. Okay, but our power isn't based on our actual physical strength. It's based on how much money you have, or political power, or influence. But if everyone's got this power set, would you have the exact same society that you had?
Not in a certain sense, but they still find a way to adapt and civilize. This is basically just any other superhero planet. They find a way to adapt and survive, and it will work. Like it will be uninteresting.
Would it?
I
Yes.
think there's potential.
But the same human
However,
beings.
it's a
but without
complicated
power.
matter because if
I
everyone's
think
got the
there's
same
something
power,
there. Like I think you could have that because it's almost like they're in the My Hero Academia manga series
Oh, yeah.
where loads of people have powers, but they're all different powers. But
Hmm.
I'm saying all the same power, like
Yeah.
all super strong, all super invulnerable, all can fly, all laser beams and eyes, and super breath.
The only difference is airline things would just be non.
Well, that would be pointless. Well, you wouldn't have cars because
No.
there'd be no need for them.
you wouldn't need
Or
chairs.
stairs.
So would it be a more peaceful world?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because it's
See,
actually
unfair.
really,
Except the second
Peace
you,
is
if
uninteresting.
Because
one
Superman-
person sneezes, bang, an entire block of city is gone.
but that wouldn't matter because they just rebuild it really quick because everyone can move at super speed and rebuild
This is,
it.
to just come back to my point. It will adapt and survive in a way.
So you'd have stronger buildings.
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't care.
Well, would you need a building at all? 'Cause you don't actually need shelter.
Peace is uninteresting. We need war and fighting.
But this will be the conflict of the story. Peace is sort of bit. No one can hurt each other. Not because Superman can hurt Zod, but it takes a long time for those
So
two
you've got a
to
1,000-year
actually
war.
defeat each other.
We follow these two boys who have these powers,
Deviants.
and they're just like, oh, let's see how far we can go. And they just ram each other into the ground, trying to see.
So they test
let's
it.
see if we can bleed.
And what does
And
what
it's just
does
like
that do?
nothing.
You're just describing
Nothing.
our relationship.
I know,
every
that's what I was
superhero.
But it's like surely,
Let's run at each other really fast.
but surely I would be interested in that. Well, like how would it manifest, and then what would the conflict be? Because there's still humans, so some of them are still going to be power mad. So wouldn't they try to look for more power than they currently have? And would there still be political power? But then everyone can fly. Everyone's invulnerable. Doesn't really need to eat food because they get food from the sun. It's like, okay, maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe you can't do that. You can't have that kind like Reverse Flash. You can't have a reverse Superman universe where rather than one guy having all the power, everyone's got the same power. But if you have any ideas, put them in the comments if you're listening. If you're not listening, I'm obviously not talking to you right now. That's the way the internet works. Why am I getting angry about
If you
that?
switched off half an hour ago, I'm not talking to you.
Anyway, gentlemen, it's time to bring this episode to an end. A long episode, but a fruitful discussion.
Indeed.
I'm sure someone will find this useful.
I'm sure someone will.
I'm sure no one will listen to this ever again.
It's a miracle if people have got this far, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If you got this far, comment something like, I got this far. I don't care.
Yeah, go on. But if you made it this far into the video, put...
We should confuse the other commenters.
Put... I can't think of anything.
Put something really confusing.
Why did you say that name? There you go. Yeah. Put that in the comments and I know you got this far.
Yeah. Why did you say that name?
All caps and...
With a question mark
with a
after
question
it.
mark. Yeah, the question mark.
And then ... dot.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you for listening this far. Guys, anything to plug? Let's do that.
Not a thing.
Aww. You not started a YouTube channel?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm useless.
Oh.
You're not useless, Scott.
Well, on that happy note, I've got a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to Upstairs Studios. Yeah.
It's appearing now on the screen.
Look at these animations.
Thank you, Scott. See, you're not useless.
Comedic
Debatable.
relief.
Comedic relief. Well,
Go for it.
For me, obviously, I'm going to plug my books as always. Half Human series, Stolen Future series. I've almost finished it. The 4th book in that series.
He stopped paying me, that's why I stopped plugging.
Well, he hasn't read the whole book. He says he's the #1 fan. He
I
hasn't
am
read the list.
the only fan.
He says reading is exhausting, which I'm
That's
pretty sure
good
it's not.
insight.
And it's coming out soon. I don't have a date.
Yay.
My newest series.
31st of March.
No, that's not it. It's called... I don't know
2025.
when exactly. We're still editing it, but very soon it'll be called The Demon Machine. That'll be coming out.
28th
The
of
Demon
February.
Machine.
The Demon Machine. No, I don't think it's a... You don't put that music over it.
Oh.
It's more fantasy. Never mind. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching this. We're back. And
Like, subscribe,
figure
comment.
out- yeah,
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe,
Don't
and
forget
share,
to- don't-
And hit the notification bell.
Yeah, please. And don't forget to go follow
Punch
Upstairs
that bell.
Studios and buy my books. And
Smash that
anything.
subscribe button.
They all support our channel, my channel that these two just help out at. And one day when Scott gets his own YouTube channel, we'll promote that too. But everyone, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Have a good morning, afternoon,
Why did you say that name? Why? Why did you say that
and
name?
evening, wherever you are in the world. The sound you hear is...
Stupid little hobbits.
Oh,
That's the wrong franchise.
the sound you hear is misquoting other films and franchises. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
I am your father.
Bye.